Alright, Rich Van Tassel here with you. Sunday, October 8th, 2016. We're wrapping up the game recaps for week 5 of the NFL season. The Buffalo Bills going out west, getting the win 30-19 over the Los Angeles Rams. Tyrod Taylor, 12 of 23, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Tyrod Taylor is, he's a guy who can beat you downfield. We've seen him make big-time passes downfield. But for the most part, this is a guy who doesn't throw the ball much, doesn't complete a ton of his passes, but somehow finds ways to win games. LaShawn McCoy, this is reasons why they're able to win. 18 carries, 150 yards. Tyrod Taylor, 5 for 28. That's 8.3 and 5.6 yards respectively. Altogether, they ran the ball 27 times, 193 yards, 7.1 yards per rush. And a touchdown by Mike Gillislee. Charles Clay, 5 for 73 receiving. Robert Woods, 2 for 26. Marquise Goodwin, 2 for 13. He had a touchdown. Justin Hunter had 1 catch for 4 yards. He also had a touchdown in this game. Corey Graham recovered a fumble. Eric Wood fumbled. It was not lost. Tyrod Taylor recovered a fumble. 3 sacks for Lorenzo Alexander. 1 for Adolphus Washington. Altogether they had 4. Nicole Roby-Coleman had 2 interceptions. Returned a combined 44 yards. He had a touchdown. Brandon Tate, 4 for 90 in the kick return games. That's over 20 yards per return. Dan Carpenter made his only field goal. Case Keenum for the Rams, 21 of 31, 271 yards. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Todd Gurley, probably his best game this season and still wasn't even that good. 23 of 72, 3.1 yards per rush, 1 touchdown. Tavon Austin had 3 carries for 26 yards. Altogether, the team 29 carries for 102 yards, 3.5 yards per rush. Kenny Britt, top receiver, 5 for 75. Tavon Austin, 7 for 59. Brian Quick, 3 for 51. Todd Gurley fumbled twice, lost one of them. Of course, my computer has to dick around right now. Only 2 sacks, and one of them was a split sack for the Rams. Greg Zuerlein, 4 for 4 in his field goals. So, Buffalo, after an 0-2 start, I probably have to do a video on why teams should not panic, week to week. I wanted to do that earlier on, frankly, but it's just the reason why. It's a long season. There's still 11 games left. And, Los Angeles, they were 3-1. They're down 3-2. Either one of these teams can, drop out of it or whatever. Who knows? But give Buffalo credit for the way they've come back and gotten themselves together here. Los Angeles, their quarterback play was probably the best it's been all season, despite the 2 interceptions. There was a lot of pressure that Case Keenum was under, and they still lost the game. So that division is really becoming wide open. I don't expect Los Angeles to be able to catch a team like Seattle. The only team I would be able to think is capable of doing it would be the Cardinals, but they're pretty far behind, so we'll have to see what goes on from this point forward in that division. But that's it, 30-19, Buffalo coming up with the victory. All right, next, Atlanta. They moved to 4-1 with a big victory, handing Denver their only loss, and it was on the road. The Falcons now 3-0 on the road. Matt Ryan, 15 for 28, 267 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Devontae Freeman, 23 of 88, 1 touchdown on 3.8 yards per rush. Tevin Coleman, 6 for 31. The team altogether 32 of 122, 3.8 yards per rush. Tevin Coleman, the top receiver, 4 for 132, a touchdown. Mohamed Sanu, 3 for 43. Devontae Freeman, 3 for 35. And you'll see Julio Jones, only 2 receptions for 29 yards. Excuse me. Mohamed Sanu fumbled and it was lost. 3.5 sacks for Vic Beasley Jr. Altogether, the team had 6 sacks. Very impressive there. Ricardo Allen had an interception. And Dwight Freeney did have one of those sacks. Eric Weems, nothing in the return game. Matt Bryant, 3 for 3 in his field goals. Now, the Denver Broncos. Paxton Lynch got the start, 23 of 35, 223 yards, a touchdown, and interception. C.J. Anderson, 11 for 41, running the ball. That's 3.7 yards per rush. Devontae Booker 6 for 23, altogether the team 24 of 84. Emmanuel Sanders 7 for 80 receiving. Demaryius Thomas 5 for 49. Devontae Booker 4 for 36. TJ Ward recovered a fumble. Paxton Lynch fumbled twice, recovered one of them, did not lose any. Emmanuel Sanders fumbled and recovered it. Devontae Booker recovered a fumble. Only 2 sacks. Von Miller did have one of them. Shane Ray had the other. No interceptions. Brandon McManus 3 for 3 in his field goals. Atlanta, very impressive. What's most impressive is they won this with mostly their defense. I mean, Denver's defense did the job in this game, especially the way Atlanta's offense had been playing. So, if you would have told me that Atlanta would have been held to 23 points, I would have said Denver would have found a way to win this game. But I would never have really thought that the Broncos would have been held to 16. Not because their offense is spectacular, especially with Paxton Lynch coming in, but Atlanta's defense is not great, but they were able to get a lot of pressure. So we'll have to see how Atlanta continues to go and what their defense is going to bring to the table. As for Denver, Paxton Lynch still has some work to do. So we'll see if, when healthy, they go back to Trevor Siemian. And the last game, the San Diego Chargers losing another tough one. They dropped to 1-4 as they lost to the Oakland Raiders, who are now 4-1. Phillip Rivers, 21 of 30, 359 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Melvin Gordon, 16 for 69, 4.3 yards per rush. Altogether, the team 19 of 72, so it was basically all Melvin Gordon. Tyrell Williams, 5 for 117 receiving. He had a touchdown. Travis Benjamin, 7 for 117. Hunter Henry, 3 for 74. A touchdown. Antonio Gates, 4 for 30. A touchdown. Melvin Gordon, 1 for 18. And a touchdown. Lot of fumbles in this game. Chris Hairston recovered a fumble. Sean McGrath recovered a fumble. Antonio Gates lost a fumble. Lost his own fumble. Melvin Gordon lost a fumble. Phillip Rivers fumbled. It was not lost. Travis Benjamin and Drew Kaiser all fumbled, but they were not lost. 3 sacks, 2 of them for Joey Bosa. Nice to see the rookie getting involved. Brandon Mebane had an interception. And Josh Lambo was 1 for 1 in his field goals. Of course, a field goal to tie. There was a bad snap. Derek Carr, not one of his better games, but they still got the win. 25 of 40, 317 yards. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jalen Richard, 8 carries, 31 yards, 3.9. DeAndre Washington, 9 for 23. The team altogether 25 of 89, 3.6 yards per rush. Not great, but certainly without Latavius Murray, good enough to get the job done. Amari Cooper, very nice game through the air, 6 of 138 and a touchdown. Jalen Richards, 6 for 66. Michael Crabtree, 3 for 47. He had a touchdown. Reggie Nelson and Carl Joseph both recovered fumbles. Stacey McGee had a sack and a half. They only had 2 sacks together. Sean Smith had an interception. Carl Joseph, the rookie, had an interception. Sebastian Janikowski, 4 for 5 in his field goals, made a 56-yarder. And obviously that was the difference in a 3-point game. As for San Diego, another close loss. They know how to throw the ball, but that's about it when you look at this team. As for Oakland, coming away with the win again. Offense really improving. Their defense, while their secondary has struggled at times, you're playing a team like San Diego that really their offense is all about just throwing the ball. And their defense certainly does not keep them on the field long enough, or keep teams off the scoreboard long enough, I should say, where San Diego can really adjust. They're forced to throw all the time because that's what they like to do, and they're often falling behind. So, give Oakland credit for getting the victory, but they still got to shore up that defense. All right, probably do the recap of the Sunday night game between the Giants and the Packers tomorrow. Be sure to stay tuned for that. We got to get some baseball updates coming in. Some of these series may end pretty soon, but we'll do those when they come across. So, we'll see you all tomorrow, and enjoy the rest of your night. Have a good one.